It's been more than a month since the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack released its first wave, 8 tracks from the series pass, including 3 tracks from Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game, that for many fans may as well be brand new tracks altogether. Opinions on this DLC from users online have been quite mixed, although the majority lean towards the positive. With that said, now that we've had plenty of time to play this DLC, both online and offline, we wanted to give a more in-depth review of each new track and address some of the general criticisms we've seen around, as it feels like some of them are a bit overblown. Before I could even play the DLC, however, I needed some more storage capacity on my Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch has a lot of games, and I've maxed out the storage on my microSD card. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe alone being just over 7GB and the DLC adding to that, I either had to archive some titles or find a solution. Luckily for me, we actually have a sponsor for today's video, and that is SanDisk, who were gracious enough to provide me with a free 256GB SD card. The Nintendo licensed memory card for Nintendo Switch from SanDisk has different themes for each of its different sizes, with the 128GB, 256GB, and 400GB models being Mario Kart themed. I myself have got the Superstar themed card, which is a great addition to my Nintendo Switch, and I could already feel it powering up. Now my Nintendo Switch is ready for whatever file sizes get thrown my way, as the next wave of tracks come in. If you want to play with power and get a great addition to your Nintendo Switch, then you can find a link to both the UK and US stores in the description. Now, let's actually talk about the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack content itself. So there are 8 tracks in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack, and I'll go through our thoughts on each one in order, but let's get the high poly elephant out of the room first. The graphics, or should I say the art style, because these are very different things. The graphics on display in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack are good, and a very obvious step up on all accounts for these tracks, although really only the mobile tracks had a chance of meeting that standard, given the rest are from standard definition games. Now, are some of the flowers on the side of the road lower poly than everything else? Yeah, they are, but I don't think this takes away at all from the experience or the package. It's not like you stop to smell the roses as you drive by. If anything, a player is more likely to drive over them when they lose control and go flying off the track. Or is that just me? I mean, they do call me the Crash King when I play online after all. Rather than the graphics, it's the art style change that folks seem to actually have an issue with, and I do understand this. While the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack has more content in it than any other Mario game has ever had at launch, it isn't its own game. It's DLC for an existing Mario Kart title, and so the fact that the DLC isn't cohesive with the rest of the game can be jarring for some, and to that point, I understand. At least the game has different lighting on these stages so that all the characters and items models fit right in. Nothing looks out of place here, which would have been a bigger concern. But if I was to judge the art style on its own merits, I actually think it's really good. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has this really high detail style, which definitely helped to show off the graphical power of the Wii U when it originally launched, and I commend it for that. However, it has always felt a bit weird. No other Mario game is this detailed, not even Super Mario Odyssey, and so the game's graphical style always felt a little out of place for me. The tracks in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack, however, are the complete opposite. This is what I would imagine a HD Mario Kart game to have always looked like. I think it's from the combination of the lighting choices and block colours for textures, but it makes everything just pop more. It fits quite nicely into the 3D world aesthetic, and is what I imagine the next Mario Kart title would have looked like. It's not all perfect, of course. I feel like how small the characters are compared to the weirdly bouncing spectators is odd, and some of the big objects like the big electric scooter just don't fit in. But this is a problem the series has always had since Mario Kart Wii, and again, like the flowers, you don't really stop to look. It just makes all the races feel like they took mini mushrooms before the race. In fact, maybe they did. That would explain how Bowser is about Mario's size here. There are also some odd art style choices in some of the individual tracks, but I'll get to them when I get to them. For now, let's tackle these tracks in order, starting with the Golden Dash Cup and the first track from Tour, Paris Promenade. The DLC has started strong with its Paris-based track, as this version is much better than its mobile counterpart. The problem with all the city courses in Mario Kart Tour is that they are way too simple or short. Thankfully, Paris was always one of the better city tracks, and so the first 2 laps are still fun to race around, and adding the option to take different routes around the Eiffel Tower is a nice touch. What really makes this track though is the final lap. Mario Kart hasn't done the reverse track idea since Mario Kart Double Dash, and it's great to see it return. There's just something extra chaotic about driving into the traffic from other racers, and first time players on this track always go the wrong way at the start of lap 3, which I just think is very funny. Graphically, Paris Promenade is one of the prettier and more interesting tracks to drive through, thanks to its lighting and colour palette. Flying into the Eiffel Tower is also just a great visual experience. Next time I go to Paris, I'll have to keep an eye out for any piranha plants they might be growing though. Getting snapped up in Mario Kart is more than enough for me. Superstar tier. Next up is Toad Circuit, and yeah, this is the worst track of the 8. That's not a big surprise though. It's the vanilla circuit track of Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Tour, not to be confused with Vanilla Lake, that will probably come later. And those types of tracks are always simple. It's a good thing it came in the first wave, but after playing all the exciting tracks both in this DLC and in the late stages of the base game, Toad Circuit just doesn't really do a lot. It was made to introduce racing and gliding in Mario Kart 7, and those are not new features anymore. Graphically as well, it's also the weakest. There's a reason this is always the stage people show when they complain. I'm fine with block colours, even on the sand at the end. It's just more a case that it feels a bit textureless, which isn't an issue for other courses in the booster pack. It's not a bad track, it's perfectly competent for racing on, but it's just not exciting, and I want excitement from my Mario Kart tracks. Or nostalgia, which I also don't really get from this. Mario Kart 7 is just too new for me. Mushroom tier. Wait, what do you mean Mario Kart 7 came out over 10 years ago? Now for one that is both exciting and nostalgic. Choco Mountain from Mario Kart 64 was one of my most anticipated tracks. Being a tour player, I'd already experienced the changes they made to update these tracks and enjoyed them, so I was excited to see reactions from others about it. And it did not disappoint. Turning Choco Mountain from a valley stage to a cliffside stage was a great way of making the track more visually appealing. It also added more excitement, which this track lacked in the original, other than the potential threat of falling off the tiny cliff towards the end. Now it comes with a cliff side, a cave section with swoopers, and an entire gliding section added on. It was impressive when it came to Tour, and it's still impressive here. Superstar tier. To wrap up the Golden Dash Cup, it's time to get Coconut Mall and race through the Mario World's only shopping centre. Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii was easily the most anticipated track in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack, and for good reason. It's just a fun track with a wacky concept, and it still holds up very well. While Nintendo did remove the half-pipe section and the moving cars at the end, that doesn't change the sheer fun this stage is to race through. Visually, Coconut Mall is also very charming, with all the stalls and in-world brands, and of all the stages where the colour pops, I think this is the best example. The big orange walls outside of the building just stand out in a good way, and the arrows added to the escalators is a nice touch to make it easier for racers to make quick decisions, especially in 200cc. Now's a good time to talk about the music in the booster pack as well, as all of the new remix tracks are class. Coconut Mall always had great music, but it's brought to a new level with the Mario Kart Big Band, and the same can be said for all the songs. Really, I have no criticisms, and these are certainly my favourite renditions of each musical track. Superstar tier. So overall, other than one mediocre track, the Golden Dash Cup has a fantastic set of courses. But what about the Lucky Cat Cup, the second Grand Prix added in this wave? Starting off with another tour track, almost a lot of what I said about Paris Promenade applies here as well. However, while in that track the gimmick was doing the final lap in reverse, in Tokyo Blur the exact route changes every lap, which makes it feel like one really long lap instead, similar to Mount Wario. In the case of Tokyo Blur though, this is greatly appreciated as the track in Tour is one of the weaker ones. The first Tokyo Blur, which makes up lap 1 in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, is very simple and a bit dull, but laps 2 and 3 in particular are a great change, and adding all the routes together makes this better than any of Tour's individual tracks. While I still think Paris Promenade is better, Tokyo Blur made a great impression here. Fireflower tier. Next up is the only non-tour track to have never returned in a previous Mario Kart game, which makes it very exciting to me. Shroom Ridge. I love Mario Kart DS, but I honestly don't remember a lot about this track. It was the Toad Turnpike or Mushroom Bridge of its game. Thankfully, it's a pretty fun track with chaotic energy as you dip and dive around traffic. How did that traffic get here? How will it get out? Don't think too hard about it. The new additions here are alright. A gliding ramp was added about midway for those who can boost across the grass, and there is a new upward draft taken straight from Mario Kart 7, one that you can potentially use to get a game-changing shortcut towards the end. Some of the new additions to these tracks are welcomed, and while I wish they could also add in anti-grav sections, both for this track and any of the tracks really, it's not the end of the world that they aren't here. Fireflower tier. The music of Sky Garden is incredible here, and the visuals really pop, possibly on the same level as Coconut Mall, although I'm having a hard time figuring out if I like the effect on the cloud textures or not. However, the presentation doesn't make the track, and it's here where I say Sky Garden is the weakest link of the Lucky Cat Cup. Similar to other Super Circuit tracks, especially in Tour, the layout of the track has been greatly simplified. There are a lot of great changes made to the course. A mushroom bounce pad was added to let players perform tricks, there's a welcome gliding section at the end, and just in general, the change in elevation makes the stage feel grander and more like a modern Mario Kart track, which is a problem that a lot of Super Circuit tracks face. Yet, the sacrifice of cutting out a chunk of the course, and in turn removing many of the fun shortcuts players could take, kind of brought the track down. Sky Garden was known for its shortcuts, and now only 2 remain. Bouncy leaves that aren't really faster, and one sharp turn towards the end, which can be a game changer. While the song will continue to put me on cloud 9, the track itself always brings me down to earth. Mushroom tier. Here it is, the final cup of both the Lucky Cat Cup and the first wave of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass, Ninja Hideaway. This is the best new track in Mario Kart Tour by a wide margin, and I'm happy to say it's the same here. This is easily the best track in the Booster Pass. Way to end on a high that Sky Garden could only dream of reaching. What sells this stage is its unique aesthetic and take on a Mario Kart track. The player is essentially platforming while they race, trying to be like a ninja and drive across narrow banisters in the ceiling or dodge traps and Shy Guy ninjas, ending in a run, or in this case drive, across the castle rooftops. It's such a fun idea for a stage, and nothing like any other track in Mario Kart's history. It's also hard, surprisingly so. The amount of times I fell off the roof in that penultimate turn is more than I can count, and the amount of 90-degree turns that this stage contains has helped me live up to my Crash King epithet. Yet, despite this, it's still fun, even in 200cc, and a fantastic capping point on this wave of content. Special tier. So overall, the Lucky Cat Cup doesn't quite hold up to the quality of the Golden Dash Cup. However, it does have within it the best track added so far, while Golden Dash had the worst, and that balances things out just a little. So overall, how would we rate this first wave of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass? Pretty highly, honestly. A solid superstar ranking, and I am hopeful that the rest of the waves can match up. We do have a while to wait until all of the booster pass is out, until the end of 2023, so I suspect we'll get a new wave a few months from now, probably announced in June, so we'll just have to wait and see until then. In the meantime, let me hear your thoughts on the DLC in the comments below. What do you think of all the new tracks added so far? I want to give another shout out to SanDisk for sponsoring this video and helping to make it a reality. If you want one of those snazzy Nintendo licensed memory cards for Nintendo Switch, then check the description for a link. Also sponsoring this video, and all the others we produce, are of course our patrons. The $5 plus tier is appearing on screen right now. If you want to know how you can join them as well, a link to our Patreon is also in the description. We're looking forward to the second wave, and we'll certainly have plans to play it and give our thoughts on it when it launches. So make sure you don't miss that and other content we produce by subscribing, so that way you can always remember to return to the source.